Hey Daddy-O, so today we are going to actually go through some questions that I've seen on different Facebook groups. My problem is, or my challenge, the situation, keep seeing the same questions over and over again. And Autumn was like, well, you keep writing replies, why don't we just like formalize it, do a clip? Brilliant, so that's what we're doing. So today I'm going to answer some questions for the first time father today. And to take us away with that, first time posting, I'm 32 and Pops wasn't always around, so didn't really learn a lot from him except how to be a husband. Does anyone else feel that they need him or would like a mentor? I feel like I still have a lot to learn. Thanks in advance. So, first step for all these dads, kudos to you for asking the question instead of keeping it in, because stuff that you keep inside festers. It gets resentments build up and wounds start to form. So just asking for help and acknowledging the situation already is the first step. Everyone repeat, say awareness is a key, opens new doors. Now, in his case, his dad wasn't around. Fantastic. What are the things you hated about growing up and not having a dad? Don't do those things. Do the opposite. So actually write that stuff down and go, well, I didn't like this, I hated this, I felt this way. What could you do different? How can you create a different experience for the child and the woman in your life so they have a different life together with you? And something else to consider if you actually are looking for mentorship, I happen to have a free group on Facebook. It's called the Win-Win Parenting Group, win/win. And we do go live in there weekly. We have content, we post other things, we share information. It's kind of my deal. So love to have you join us over there, sir. So, and those of you watching right now, you could come join us too. This young man says, I'm going to try to make this not so simple question simple. I had a very abusive childhood and a father who was never truly there for me emotionally. Like, physically, he was there as I saw him every day, but we never truly bonded. So, my question is, what can I do to break that obvious unhealthy cycle? I'm soon to be a first time dad in my 30s, just trying to get an outsider's perspective, maybe some tips on a good way to approach this one. Again, great question, and I love the fact that there's dads out there asking for input and guidance. That is like so freaking important. The lone wolf idea for dads and men really needs to go away. The more you have a team, the more support you have, and the less your exposures are for mistakes and challenges. So in his case, he really wants to bond. The first step, breathe, be present. So when you breathe, it gets you out of your head and it gets you back into your body. It slows you down. It allows you to be present, create actual connection. And then the next step is working on your communication. Not what you think you thought you heard. Feed things back. When your kid's so excited, Daddy, Daddy, I gotta show you this thing, to be like, oh my gosh, show me the thing. Like, match their tone, match their speed, match their breathing, and they'll feel more connected to you, just human to human. And so those are like the first two steps. And not knowing his full situation, but breathing and make sure you're communicating the same way they communicate back to you. It's first time dad, and I swear to God, I can't do anything right. And it's like, oh man, my heart immediately reached for this guy. I was like, dude, obviously, high standards, wants to do a good job, but not getting the feedback he needs, taking things personally. Instead of going, oh, this person needs me to show up differently, he's taking it personally. So here's the deal. You either get a loving response or you get a cry for help. And if you can receive the pushback, the criticism, the emasculation, the yelling, the frustration, the whatever, not take that personal and say, I did something wrong. Say, oh, something in this situation isn't working for this other person. What can I do to help that? What can I do to show up differently? How can I show up to help? Maybe I need to listen better. Maybe I need to feedback what I'm hearing. Maybe I need to be more disciplined and take better approaches to things. There's a couple of maybes. You got to ask some questions and dig in. But if you listen for that loving response or cry for help, more powerfully for the people that matter to you the most. And, dude, you got to step out of judgment because that just kills your superpowers. Judgment is kryptonite for fatherhood. Evaluates the super sauce, right? Evaluating a situation makes you more objective, and those hits don't hurt so hard. Now, obviously, if someone's physically assaulting you, you need to get out of that situation, and you do need extra help because that is never okay. And now for our last one. This is a young man, actually lives local to me, and he's been married to his wife for 2 years, and they just had their first child a couple of months ago, a daughter. And he loves the growth mindset. He's engaging in dad groups. All that stuff being said, I'm knee deep in the newborn postpartum stage, so any tips or guidance are welcome. Again, first step, breathe, dude. Realize babies are. I love babies. I love my daughter. I love children. Babies are a hormonal hijack of a woman's mind and heart. You and mom both have brand new identities of mom, dad. You never had that before. Like, you had the idea, sure, but now you have the reality. You're actually living as a mommy, as a daddy. That means new rules. New unexpected identities means obligations you didn't even know you had. You didn't even know you had this dad stuff in you that you're like pushing up against. And I got to be a good dad and not be like my dad this way, but be like my dad that way. And she's doing the same stuff. And whose love did she have? Whose love did she crave? Who did she have to be? And trying to be perfect. And so there's all this pressure. So for the two of you, most important thing, breathe. Second thing is you both need time. She needs time by herself, no baby. You need time by yourself, no baby. You both need time with the baby, and you both need time as a couple and as a triumvirate, all three of you together. That allows bonding in different ways. And listen for the shoulds. The shoulds are the rules that our identity is saying, this has to happen, this should be happening, I should be better, I should be. People should all over themselves. As I think about this question and really the conflict of just baby demands and parenting and everything, I recorded a podcast, number 19. It says, everyone needs a timeout. And I talked about specifically, strategically, making time for yourself, making time for the people in your lives. So that's an additional resource that might be helpful in this conversation, creating that time for yourself. So I went into a deeper strategy there. It is 25 minutes, so I try to keep all my podcasts to a half hour, unless it's an interview, because interviews are awesome. And before we finish, I want to leave you with some best practices, right? Just to kind of sum up what we talked about today. Number one, breathe. That is your most important thing. It shifts you from the in your head fight and flight into your heart rest and digest. It literally shifts your nervous system, all of your filters. So make time to breathe. Number two, make time for yourself. Away from everything, away from the pressures. Number three, pay attention to the identity, the shoulds, the pressures that are putting on you, the rules you didn't know you had. Because you can change those. You can create rules you and your partner can work with to make your life easier. And number four, the most important magic secret sauce button fantasticness, appreciation. Right now, you're a first-time father. You're a dad. You've been looking for this for how long? For me, 9 years old, I wanted to be a dad. And it didn't happen until I was 39. Oh, I know. So when you can appreciate that situation, when you can love those complications, your kids are going to be only kids for 18 years and then they're done and they're gone. So the more you appreciate it, the easier it is to manage it, the easier it is to say, I asked for this, I love this, and you can step in more powerfully. So Daddy-O, you're doing an awesome job. Super proud of you. Happy to be a resource anytime. So I want to thank you for joining me today, having a couple of moments to talk about some initial first-time father challenges. Make sure that we connect. I'm all over the internet. I'm literally the only Jeremy Roadruck in the world, thank God. And you can find me on Amazon. You can find me on Facebook, which is the Win-Win Parenting Group, best place to connect. And make sure you hit the like and subscribe. If you know a first-time father who needs some support, make sure you send him this video so he can get some additional resources and information. And you make it an outstanding day. I will see you when I see you. Cheers.